Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Michi Makes Up. Today's video is going to be a revisit to some of my favorite makeup items that I purchased in the past, so at least from over a year ago. And I am doing some pre-filming here, so as I was thinking up of ideas, I thought this was going to be a fun one because naturally when you review new makeup, you're going to end up with a lot of makeup. It's hard to really hit pan on anything. So this is going to be a really fun video to revisit some of my old favorites that I would love to share with you guys. And my face looks a little patchy because I do have concealer on already. We are going to use a foundation that I purchased over a year ago and just really haven't gone back much to it. I'll show you that in a second here, but I have an eyeshadow palette, a blush, highlighter, and also finishing powder that I would love to just go in, play, create a look. So for foundation, I think we'll do that first, is going to be the Dior Rephr Matte Foundation, the 24-hour long wear. They have actually since changed the formulation to this foundation. It's actually now, I mean, it's still very similar, but they call it the Clean Matte Foundation 24-hour wear transfer proof concentrated floral skincare. Whereas this one here is called 24-hour wear high perfection skin caring foundation with sunscreen. So it has 35 SPF broad spectrum, whereas the newly formulated Clean Matte Foundation that is also 24-hour wear has, I believe, it is 15 SPF. That also protects against broad spectrum. The shade available, the shade range, looks to be about the same, and I'm going by memory here as with what was available for this. So I have this in 1.5 neutral. It is gonna be too light for my skin tone, but we'll warm it up with some bronzers, and I don't plan to wear this out anyway, but we're gonna warm it up with some bronzer and just kind of, you know, make it look like it'll blend a little bit better with my neck and the hand. So yes, let's get to the foundation. I did do a wear test with this foundation, so if you are interested in a dedicated video, I will have links below to each of them so you can check it out. So this is what the foundation looks like on the hand. It is pretty creamy, and I wouldn't say it's very emollient, and it is scented. So you can already tell it is really much too light for me during the summertime. It does feel very nice on the skin, and it is high coverage. It's been a while since I've put on a high coverage foundation. I've been so used to using Chanel's New Touch foundation that this is kind of not throwing me off. Like, it's still pleasant in its own way, but I'm just like, oh, that's right. That's right. All the blemishes are kind of just being, you know, covered, concealed beautifully. And I'm just going to set both the concealer and the foundation. For under the eyes, you guys know I like to use Kosas. And specifically, I go in with a sponge here, or a puff, I should say. All right, and then I set my face with a loose setting powder. That's all done. Let's get into the finishing powder. So the finishing powder I have in mind is from Chantecaille. It is their Perfect Blur finishing powder. Just one of the best luxury finishing powders. I'm gonna go in with this brush here. And I will come a little bit closer because I am wearing a high coverage foundation. A lot of the blemishes, any discoloration, any, you know, sunspots, all that is concealed. But we can make things look even a little bit smoother in a subtle way using this. So I just want to show you, this is the right side with the blur powder applied generously, and then this is the left side, and I can see the difference You know, it does look just a little bit smoother, like any dry lines is just softened up a little bit. So maybe on, I mean, I can tell the difference even on camera, but it might be very, very subtle what I'm asking you guys to look for. But trust me on this one, this is one of Chantecaille's most popular makeup products, and there is a reason to it. So let me just apply it on the left side. With the complexion done, I'm going to go into eyeshadows. We're going to get to the rest of the face, like blush, highlighter, bronzer, after this. The palette that I have in mind is going to be Natasha Denona's Bronze Palette. So this palette, it is one of her best. And if you don't enjoy warm color stories, it's not going to be really your thing. But when she came out with this, it was just like, wow, it was exciting because we hadn't seen something from her quite like this, and nobody else was releasing anything quite like it either. So this was definitely, the excitement around it was a lot, and it was very well received. Even though a lot of these warm shades, you could very easily end up with very similar looks. People generally didn't mind that either. I think they were just like hungry for something like this. Very warm, coppery brown, coppery red, and this palette fit the bill. I'm going to go into Beach, and I'm placing that all over the lids. I would say the quality, I mean, going into this matte shade here, has not deteriorated. I don't think, at least from looking at it like this, anything had hit hard pan or had hard panned. So that's good. It's all very pigmented still. From recent releases, it's been noted that sometimes her shadows aren't quite, at least with the mattes, not quite as easy to work with, maybe a little bit patchy. Not the case here so far. Then I'm taking Suntan and placing that onto the outer corner. Going back into Alloy, I'm using a finger and just placing it from the inner corner and moving this up towards the middle of the lid. And then we're going to go into Magma here and put that above the lash line. Just giving the whole look a little bit more drama, a little bit more dimension. And I'm going to add Magma on the lower lash line as well. I mean, isn't that beautiful? I could do more. We could add a little bit more just to play with the shades, but I think this is pretty nice. Oh, I miss these warm tones from this palette. I'm so glad I chose to revisit it. Put some mascara on, and then we'll come back for the rest of the look. For blush, I'm going to take Pat McGrath's Divine Blush in the shade Flirtatious, and actually it's very subdued. So I'm gonna use this, but if it does not pair well with this look because it's so warm, I will add to it. I will pick something else and add to it. You know, it's a very pigmented blush, so I think we're going to be okay, even though it's mauve-y and kind of neutral. The reason why I chose this Pat McGrath blush is when she released these, there was a ton of excitement around them. It was the first time she released blush, and I remember picking up, was it 4 or 5 different shades at the time, and just, you know, really enjoying them and finding that they go on beautifully. They're soft, they meld into your skin, they're also pigmented. So it is what we would expect from Pat McGrath when it comes to like pigment and intensity. She also had some good color offering, shade offering that fit and worked with a lot of different skin tones. So I just haven't found myself going back to them because I've been using a lot of cream blushes and stick blushes. So today I thought it was perfect. I really wanted to choose something from Pat McGrath. All right, so for highlighter, I'm going to use the Ambient Metallic Strobe Lighting Palette. This first launched, I want to say 2017, 2018 even, and it completely sold out. It was limited edition, and they did not bring it back for years. Nowadays, when they're limited edition, there's a chance that the product's going to be around for a long time as long as the demand is there. But when they finally brought it back in 2020 or so, I'll have to check the date of my own video. There was just a lot of excitement because this was such a beloved, popular set of highlighters. And it's absolutely beaming. People will see you from a mile away. Even when they brought it back, that really, really beaming highlighter look wasn't totally in style then, but people were still very receptive to it, and to this day I still think it's beautiful. So I'm going to go into this shade here, and we're just going to add it. So one, you can see that already. There's just no other quite like it. Just with one product, kind of, well, it's more than one swipe now, but I didn't go back in, so isn't that something? Wow. And the shade that I went into is called Absolute Strobe Light. And I'll swatch all three. So we have Absolute Strobe Light, Pure Strobe Light, and then this shade here is Lucent Strobe Light. I didn't want to put anything on this finger because I had used it on the bronze palette. Gorgeous, just stunning, just stunning. Okay, for bronzer, let's actually take Hourglass's Ambient Lighting Edit Palette Sculpture, and they release these every holiday season. There's always some kind of edit palette with a family of ambient lighting powders, and typically they do include 2 finishing powders, a highlighter, 2 blushes, and a bronzer. These are really handy to take with you when you travel because it has everything you need, but the trick is, or the key is that it's suitable for your skin tone. So if it's suitable for your skin tone, it's going to be a great fit. You can take it anywhere with you. But if not, then it's kind of like the whole palette's it's not the right fit. So I just want to talk about that. Now this one, I don't know if it's still available, Sculpture, but the Metallic Strobe Lighting Palette, yes. That I believe is just available, not as a limited edition anymore, but available kind of like all year round. They have it while stock, it seems. So let's get into the bronzer. I'm going to take Sonia G's khaki brush here, the fluffy one. I just want the complexion. And we'll be very generous because we know the foundation is quite light for me this time of the year. Finally, for lipstick, I like to get into Wayen Goss's Luxurious Lipstick in the shade Daisy. I absolutely love this shade. It's like this nude pink, and maybe I should even pair it with a lip pencil. Let's see what I have here. So we have something a little bit deeper. So this is also Revisit to Wayen Goss lip pencils. I have Vintage Pink or Natural Berry. Why don't we try Natural Berry? This is the finished look, and this brings me back. I really had fun doing this. Hopefully it inspired you guys to look at some of the makeup you used to use often but not so much recently, and maybe take it out and have fun, create some looks with it. I really miss the Natasha Denona bronze palette, the Hourglass metallic strobe highlighters, and also the Wayen Goss lip products. I love this shade. And let's see what else here. Because I am pre-filming, I am not sure when exactly this video is going up. I am just preparing for when baby arrives, and I'm not able to spend as much time creating content for you guys. So I just want to, you know, pre-film a little bit, sprinkle in the content, and launch it as I'm busy taking care of a new human being. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you also love some of these products below, or you have some products that you're like, hey, wait a sec, I love it and I just haven't been using it. Now I think I might go back and try it out again. Take care. I'll see you guys soon in the next one. Bye.